I Somebody told me to explain how I built my popper head with tubing. You remember that it's made with a clip, a fast-tack clip to make it removable. So I explained in another video how I make the shank. So the fast attach, sorry, plus my shank, 35 millimeter shank. So I have a good length to build a medium head of popper. You want a bigger, you can make it longer and use a larger tubing. To make this type of head that I consider that is a medium size, I use a tubing 5/8 inch in large. So when my thread is on the shank, don't forget that it's important to tie the rear part of the popper head on the part of the rear middle length of the fast tack clip. So I will tie my tubing on this. So for estimate the longer that I need to build the shape head that I want, I suggest you to burn the extremity of the tubing, and you will put to turn in inside the main brain, and this is the length. To verify is to check if it's the good length, you will apply on, you will push up to the high, and you will see the shape. You want a shape that will be taper. You will take short a part of tubing. You want to add that it will be more chunky. You will use a longer part, and you will watch that the larger part of the head will go up to the rear part, less taper, and will reduce drastically at the end. So you will place it on, and you will configure what you want for shape, and so you will cut after you determine the great longer. You will cut just above the insert part, so you see, and I will burn again because I found that this make a bump that will retain my thread when I will attach with my on my shank. So when that is made, if you look, you see that the place that the tubing was fold, if you place at the horizontal, that will tend to give a shape that will more large, less height. If you turn, elevated and less large. So it's important when you use a tubing to shape a head. It's more important to a sucker pattern. Sucker pattern, I will really check to place it right there. For the popper head, it's less important because you will put an insert of foam in the tubing that will be shape the tubing. So it's less important, but I precise that to see if you want to make a sucker head, it's an important factor. So I want to slip the tubing on the shank, tie it and shape my head. First thing, I will use the E6000 glue to stick the rear part of the popper head well on my shank. It's important because you don't want that the entire head slip on the shank. And to help to build a good head popper, I will insert the shank between the two layer of tubing. So the inner part, when it's over the right place, so this part is thick and glue. 15 turns. I use a big fly thread to make a good pressure. So that's time. I will put another layer of glue. We'll take the second layer. And again, I will make turn tight. So I respect the distance needed to the end of my tubing and my attach to my clip. So if I push the tubing to the rear part, my shank will stop on the edge here. I will push, and you see the eye, and that will be my shape head. You can use a plier to retain it in place, and you will insert the tubing, a part of foam to make it floating. But if you want some noise, you can insert what do you want. For this demonstration, I will use a jingle. It's not an obligation, but if you want some noise, you can put the insert what do you want. So I will put it in, stuck in the bottom of the head. And for the front part, you can use the kind of the foam that you want to use. For this tie, I use a foam sheet, 1/4 inch in thick, but you can use this foam sticks in the Dollar Max store. You can find it. You can use a piece of foam that you have in some package, and cut the good larger roll to make a little barrel like this. I used some piece of foam in another package. I use a pill to put pills on, and make a plug so you can have the same thing like that with another sort of foam. I already used this styrofoam. It's not the best because it will make a lot of pieces of foam. It's not real pleasant to work with, but if you don't have anything else, you can use it. So anyway, what kind of foam you will use, it's will the same principle. You have a little barrel like this, a bit approximately the same, larger of the tubing, and you can take it a little bigger to compress and it will maintain good, but you will stick it with glue later. So I push it. I didn't say, but the piece that I built, I cut this this part. I roll in my finger, and to help me to place it well in my popper head, I used crazy glue to stick my barrel, so it's easier to work to put in. So when it's placed inside, you remove the clip and the shape will be maintained, will be stable. Later I will glue it, and that will be stocked. Okay, so shape of my head is built. The next part is to build the rear part of the popper with, I use bucktail to make it. What I want to do is to make a piece that will mask I will mask the head of my streamer that I will insert. So to do this, it's simply use the base that you have here to install a reverse bucktail. So I use white because the head that I build is white. We'll try to go fast to be efficiency. Don't want to make you lose your time. I use the length is not is like you want, as you want, but I use approximately 1.5 length of the head for the longer of my bucktail. We'll install it, distribute equally. I will make it all around the head. It's important if you want to be good job to place your thread at the same place all around the head, because when you reverse the bucktail, if you don't want to see your base of thread under, it's important to align all around the popper head. It's important to make a solid base, because you don't want that this part of the head slip on the shank. So use a solid thread and make it tight. Turn, it's important to the solidity. When I'm sure that the bucktail is well distributed around the head, solid thread, important to dilute it well. My part, I use lac with vinyl. It's harder than regular lac glue to add cement with vinyl base is harder than the original version of add cement. When it's done, I will fold back as you make on a regular musky fly, reverse bucktail. So for this moment, I make a white head, so I didn't color the head. But if you want a head with a pattern of tiger, you know, with beard, you can use Sharpie, color it. Okay, so the next step, to keep my bucktail in a good angle for the tail, I will use Solaris thick to fix the bucktail and maintain in a good position. I made it rapidly and lost some short fur. So at this time you have the tail with a good angle. To finish the fly, I will not make it all in front of you. It's not necessary. If you want to add color, for example, if I want to make some red tag in front, okay, just for example, you know. Okay. So to finish the head, I will use Solaris Thin, and I will cover the entire surface of the tubing, and in the front I will make a layer. I will put a layer in, tight it with the UV lamp. After, I will put some eyes on it and it will be finished. So it's like it's how I make my popper head. So you can have some sound in the rear part, and it's important to well cover the entire head to reduce the water insertion in the center of the head, so the sound will be great all the time. So I wish that it will help you to make this kind of popper head. It's a really interesting pattern because it's resistant. You can hit on log and it will tough. So I wish that this will answer you, Keith. You ask me how I do it. That's this time. Good time.